My truth is, I'm on my way to get me an American Express card.
Hey, keep going. Let's go, y'all. I need 7 more people. Hey, DeAndre.
Yes, yes.
I was showing you my American Express.
Yeah, that's what's up right there.
I'm looking forward to you joining the club. All right, I need 6 more
Oh, most
people.
definitely.
My truth is,
This is Stacy. My truth is, I will conquer this Forex Academy and make it
hey,
a way for me to make residual income.
yes. I got some
Money.
more ways for you to make residual income too, but I'm gonna be rolling them out soon. Thank you, Stacy. Next person, I need 5 more people. Dang, nobody knows their truth. I got,
My truth is, I will be at every meeting that you have so I can gain the knowledge so I can teach my children and my children's children.
hey, my ride or die.
My truth is I will be wealthy.
Yes,
Truth is I'm blessed abundantly.
absolutely. Give me 3 more.
My truth is to help Damont in California get this dispensary stuff going, as well as it is in Las Vegas. And we are the minority, but we're the minority a lot in this business. And they're gonna look at us like we're crazy when we infiltrate.
That's DJ Dre Day, y'all. One of the biggest DJs in the United States. Give me 2 more people.
My truth is, my name is English Petion. My truth is to meet you as a savior of this community and then to show you how the impact you got into me, into my surrounding.
Oh, make me cry. Thank you, man.
My truth is I lost my job yesterday. However, I'm homeschooling and can't go to work, but I believe that's a setup for a comeback, a strong comeback.
Jay Cox. Are you in the transfer group?
I am.
All right, DM me after this.
Okay.
All right. All right, thanks everybody for your truths. I appreciate you for coming to today's masterclass, Credit 101. I want to open up. I know a few people said that they had a few things that they might want to ask or just some things that you're stuck at. I want to highlight those questions in the beginning if anybody has anything that you would like for me to talk about. So just go ahead and shout them out.
All right, this is DeAndre. Now, when I mentioned earlier about being on my way to the American Express card, I just am really needing you to touch bases on some guidance as far as what credit score is all needed and what type of credit file do you need to actually get in without, getting denied first.
Okay, got you. I got you. Anybody else? Please don't be too shy because credit is something in our community that we don't want to talk about. But credit is something that other communities talk about very freely around dinner tables, around they teach each other about credit and they brag on their credit score and they understand that the key to their success is getting the bank's money and making money from that. And that requires credit. So we got to be, well, credit is not, we were taught in our community that credit is personal. You don't talk about your credit and all of that. So we got to make sure that we are comfortable with asking questions. And the way that I became an expert in the credit industry is only by failure. I failed. And then I started learning about it. And then that's how I became an expert in my industry. Anybody else?
Hey, Damont, it's Latoya. I have a question.
Go ahead, Latoya.
Okay, can you just speak to how when you already have established credit cards and you want to, is it best to pay it off and not use it again, or just pay it down and so that it doesn't negatively impact your score?
Okay.
Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No
I
problem.
have a question. Um, is 850? Do you have to have a 850 credit score? Like, I know that's the goal and that's what I'm working towards. And then how do you actually get credit? Like, build credit? With, I guess, like having credit cards and stuff. Like, what is the best way for someone trying to gain credit to get credit? That makes sense.
Yep, that's the foundation. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm talking about today. So I'm glad you came, Tia.
I have a question. It's Lauren.
Go ahead, Lauren.
It's in regards to authorized users. Is it a good idea to be an authorized user? And also, do you recommend like the secure credit cards as far as that boosting your credit score?
Yep, that's what I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
Anybody else?
No questions.
Hey, Coach, it's Reggie. Real quick, you probably have to take a personal look, but one of my scores is over 700, but the other two seem to be stuck at like mid sixes.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out what I'm missing there.
I gotta look at your credit report, and I can tell you in 2 seconds.
Okay.
So it could not be that you're missing something. It could be that something's on 2 that's not on 1. Or it could be that you have more inquiries on 2 that you don't have on 1. Or it could be that there's a late payment that's on 1 that's not on 2.
Okay.
All right. So let's get in. Anybody have any questions in the end? I'll be willing to answer them. But I'm gonna go through Reggie's question, DeAndre, Latoya, Lauren, and Tia. All right, so I'm gonna go through everything that you guys just asked me, and if I don't, then come back and ask. Don't be ashamed to come back and ask me in the end. So foundation of credit. Let's start there. Make sure you got your pens and your paper, because I'm gonna tell you some things that you need to do. All right, foundation of credit. So Tia asked a good question. She said, "I know 850 is the best credit score you can have, but what is what should I really like? What should really be my goal?" So 850 is the best. I have like 820. Some of the people in my credit club I've rarely seen an 850. So to have that as a goal is good, but your goal should be to be in the 700 club. All right, and mid 700 club. So you want to be in the 720 to 750 range. If you could be higher, that's fine. What's going to get you there is a mixture of things. So I know Lauren asked about authorized users. Well, authorized users are good, and we sell authorized user accounts. So a lot of us have good credit, so we allow people to piggyback on our credit, which can boost your credit. Now let's talk about that. So if you buy an authorized user account, which is considered piggybacking, that's only meant to boost your score, is not going to help you get any more credit, because banks know that that's an authorized user account. You need to have your own accounts. Those are called primary accounts. So let's talk about how we start primary accounts. Some of you are established, some of you are rebuilding, some of you want to get your scores higher. So we're going to start at the ground level, and I'm going to take you up. All right. So how we build from the foundation is that we build with at least one positive account. You cannot have good credit without having credit. Repeat after me. You cannot have good credit without having credit. So I know many people, it's been implanted in us, don't get those credit cards. Those credit cards are bad. You don't need credit cards. You cannot have good credit without credit cards. Credit cards are revolving credit. So I want you, if you're starting at the foundation, you want to get your score up higher, you need to at least have one. Our goal is to have at least 3 to 5. And I'm gonna give you a list of which are good credit cards to have. DeAndre said American Express. I'm gonna tell you exactly how to get one of those. So we're gonna start with a secure card or a starter card. A starter card is Capital One Bank. They have a card called the Platinum Card. So you want to start with a small card, 300, 500, that's fine. You want to pay it on time for 6 months, and then discover it. That's a good card. So that's a secure card. They have a secure card. First Premier is gonna get you in fees, but that's a good starting card if you can't get approved for any other card. If your bank has a secured card, get it. That means you give them $300 or $500 and they're going to give you a credit card with that amount on it. The key to credit, and I need everybody. I know some people say they're teaching their kids and all that stuff. I need you to understand when you teach your kids about credit, that credit is not bad. Credit is about discipline. So if you don't have discipline, then you have to teach yourself discipline. Credit's not going to teach you discipline. You have to have discipline. If you don't have discipline, I like these right here. And if I had a whole sleeve of them, I'm going to eat a whole sleeve one time. If I have a whole case of them, I'm going to eat them because I love them. So I have to have discipline. I only can have one of these a month. So, but if I have a whole box of them, I'm going to eat a whole box of them because I don't have discipline. So I had to teach myself discipline because I used to eat a whole pack every single day. All right. And then I got a gut. So I had to teach myself discipline. Damont, you can only have one a month. All right. You can't have one a day or you're going to be fat. So the same thing with credit is that credit is about discipline. You need it. Everything you insurance, car insurance, home insurance, homeowners insurance, automobile loans, rental, apartment rentals, even car rentals, look at your credit report. All these people look at your credit report, life insurance, all these different people look at your credit report. So it's very important that you make sure that you have good credit. The foundation is that do not, I need you to write this down. Do not use credit unless you have the money to pay for it in your bank account. So if you get Tia, if you get a credit card and they send you a $5,000 limit card, you don't have an extra $5,000. You have, what do you have? You still have whatever's in your bank account. All right. So you don't think that credit is extra money. Credit's not extra money. Credit is meant to allow you to have leverage. And the more you can be trusted, the more leverage you're going to get. The more leverage you have, the more options you have. The more options you have, the more money you're going to make. Because you know why? Because now you're using the bank's money when you invest instead of your own money. So when you go get a business, now you're using the bank's money for your inventory or for your product or whatever your business is. I've seen a lot of people say they want to get in the trucking industry today. Now you're using the bank's money to get multiple trucks so that other people can buy it, drive them, and so that you can pay the bank back. And now you're maximizing more contracts because you have more of the bank's money. All right. So we got to start with a starter card. So a starter card, First Premier card, Capital One card, Discover It secure card, Navy Federal has a secure card. A lot of the banks, some of them have secure cards. All right. And then I want you to have a secondary account, an installment account, self-lender. We're not talking about business credit today, y'all. I can only talk about the foundation of credit. I'm gonna do another class about business credit. That's a whole nother class. All right, so self-lender, we're gonna start our foundation because we got to build up. All right, we got to start the foundation with a revolving account, which is a starter card. How many starter cards do you need? So if you have Capital One, if you have First Premier, if you have Credit One Bank, if you have
Discover.
No, Discover Secure card is a starter card. Discover It card is an intermediate card. But if you have any
Open
of those,
Sky.
who did you say?
Open Sky.
Open Sky is a starter card. So if you have one of those cards, you only need one. They're going to ask you, they're going to send you offers. They're going to ask you to get multiple First Premier cards. They're going to give you one with 300. Then they go come back and say, oh, we'll give you one with 700. Then they go come back and say, we'll give you one. You only need one because you're building your foundation. And if you pay that for 6 months, and then in that 6 months, you're working to get the negative items off of your credit, then you're going to apply for an intermediate card. And I'll give you a list of those in a second. Let's talk about the myths of credit. The myths of credit is bankruptcies have to stay on your credit for 7 years. A late payment stays on, messes up your credit for 2 years. An increase stays on your credit for 2 years. We've heard that student loans never come off your credit. We've heard that collections have to be on your credit for 7 years. So they always say, when you hear it, what do you hear? They say, they said, right? Nobody can say who they is, because the credit bureaus, there's multiple credit bureaus. There's, write down this, there's Experian, so you have an Experian report. There's Equifax, so you have an Equifax report. There's TransUnion, so you have a TransUnion report. There's Innovis, so you have an Innovis report. There's LexisNexis, so you have a LexisNexis report. There's SageStream, so you have a SageStream report. So you have about 6 reports. So and there's different things on all of those reports. So you should contact every one of those companies and ask them to send you your report so that you're clear on what's on them. If you just focus on Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, there could be a repossession or a eviction that's on your Lexis, or because they are the ones that also report information. All right, so you just got to be privy to what's on your reports, and then you can understand that anything that's on your report can be removed by law. There's a law that supports you called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act means that if any of those creditors are not in compliance, by law they have to remove that account. All right, if you need help with that, of course, I'm a credit coach. I have a lot of my credit coaches on here, Darnell and Karen, and I don't know who else is on here, Reggie, Vanessa, I can't see everybody, but a lot of my credit coaches that I have trained are on here. And if you need anybody, if you need help, Dwayne, I'm seeing them all come up now. But those are all my credit coaches that are partners with me, and I have trained them to be top producers in their industries, and they teach financial literacy as well. So again, fixing credit is a solution. We can't have in our mind, oh, a collection's gonna stay on my credit for 7 years, so Damont, I can't do nothing for 7 years because you know what, I got out of a divorce, or you know, I had a hard time, I couldn't pay my bills, and I lost my job, and you know, I had to get that car back, and I just, you know, I'm gonna be messed up for 7 years. That's not true. Do not speak that, do not believe that, and understand that there are solutions to every problem. You do not have to wait 7 years to get in a better situation credit-wise, because you need your credit, because your credit is gonna give you leverage. So once I know DeAndre asked about American Express. First, we got to make sure that we know what's on our credit report. So we're gonna get Credit Karma. We're going to get Experian offers a free credit report, because you need at least to look at those 3. And then you're gonna contact SageStream, Lexis, and Innovis, and you're gonna ask them to send you your report. When you get that report, you're going to highlight everything that's negative on that report. You typically will know what's negative because it'll be in red. So on Credit Karma, it'll be red. On Experian, it'll be red. So anything you see in red that says derogatory or late or 30-day late or anything that's negative, you're gonna highlight it in yellow. So you're gonna have a highlighter, and anything that's on that report that's negative needs to come off. So then that's why you need to find somebody that understands credit laws that can help you to remove those things off of your credit, whether that's my company, whether that's any of my partners that's on here, or whether you go find another company. Find some help. Don't keep bad credit. All right, so then After I'm working to get the negative things removed so that I can restart my life, I need to be building positive things. That's why I'm going to start with the one revolving card. If you have more than one now, that's fine. I'm going to start with self-lender. Self-lender is when you're lending to yourself. So your credit is kind of not strong now, but you got to build it. So self-lender, you can go on self-lender. I'll show you. Self-lender is a good account and everybody needs. Even I have self-lender and I have amazing credit. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go to self-lender. So it's called self.inc, self-lender. I'm gonna go to start rebuilding today. And then I'm gonna look at, scroll all the way up here. Then I'm gonna look at how to get started. Put in my email address. Oh shoot, hold on. It's gonna ask me. There it is. So I'm gonna go up here. So once I put in my email address, I confirm. Now it asks me choose the credit builder account. So I could choose $25 a month. I could choose $35 a month. I could choose $48 a month, or I could choose $150 a month. Now the benefit, I just do the $48 a month. All right. So $48 a month is 12 months, right? So each month I'm paying myself. I'm paying into a CD, a certificate of deposit. So I'm paying into an account that I'll eventually get back after I pay it off. So every month I'm paying $48 a month. It automatically comes out of my account for 12 months. So in 12 months, I'll have $539 saved up in an account. But you know what it's doing in the meanwhile? It's building my credit because it reports to my credit report. So I'm lending to myself. I pay $48 a month. In 12 months, I paid into a CD. I get the CD, I get the money out of the CD back. So I get my $539 back, and it shows a closed account on my credit report that's paid off. So it shows that I can pay something on time for 12 months. Because that's what credit is. It's about being worthy of your word and paying your bills on time and making sure that you're not over 30 days late, and making sure that, you know, but sometimes you hit stumbles. So if you hit a stumbling block, you got to rebuild up. All right. So we need a starter card, which is what I just told you. We don't need any negative accounts. If I have negative accounts or collections, I need to make sure that I have a credit coach or a company that specializes in it. The next question, collections. Well, Damont, I just came into some money. I made $11,200. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pay all my collections off and fix my credit. That's not fixing your credit. Paying a collection or paying anything that's on your credit report that's negative is not fixing your credit. So let me explain to you this, and for sake of time, I'm gonna be respectful of time because I can talk about this all day long. If I go from Sprint to AT&T and I don't pay Sprint their balance, and Sprint sends my account to collections, typically it's a collection company called IMC Credit. If Sprint sends my account to writes it off, sends it to collection agency, first of all, I no longer owe Sprint. I owe IMC because IMC bought my debt. So now IMC is calling me and harassing me and saying, hey, you owe Sprint, you need to pay, you need to settle. If you settle, you can pay half the amount and blah, 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 blah. First of all, by law, I no longer owe Sprint. Sprint wrote off the debt. I owe IMC. I don't really owe IMC. They bought my debt. So they can collect my debt, but that's the most they can do. So they bought the debt pennies on the dollar. So that's why they're able to settle. So if you owe a medical bill and they say, hey, you owe 300, but we'll take 100, or we'll take 3 payments of 75, that's why they're able to do that. That's not their debt. So some of you who want to do businesses, maybe we can partner and do a collection agency. That's a big business. All right. So, because you buying the debt for $1 and you're collecting 100% or at least 50%, whatever you settle for. So if you settle and you don't have a pay for delete letter,
like,
if you settle and you don't have a pay for delete letter, it's all in vain. If you have $1,000 worth of debt on your credit report or $5,000 and you pay it all off, your credit's still gonna be bad. The collections are still gonna be on there. They're only gonna show a zero. The only difference is they're gonna show a zero balance. And you're not gonna be able to get new credit because the new people you're applying for, they're gonna see that you didn't pay your bills. So why would somebody that sees that something's derogatory is on your credit, why would they give you new credit? So we gotta clean all the negative stuff. We gotta rebuild while that is going on. So we gotta pay our bills on time. Credit card, when you get a secure card, you're never gonna exceed 20%. I told you the key to credit is you never charge what you don't have in the bank. So now I'm gonna walk you through somebody's question. I don't remember whose it was. But the question was, in establishing credit, my mind just left me.
That was my question. I was asking, when you're trying to build credit, like what should you do to establish credit? And I know you just hit points on about the credit cards, but go ahead.
Right. So establishing credit would be, if we're starting from the ground up, we need a starter card and we need self-lender for 12 months. After 6 months, you'll be in a better position, but we got to get the negative things off of your credit. All right. So the next thing is Latoya asked a question about establishing cards. Tell me one more time what that question is. I want to make sure I answer it.
Well, for instance, I already have credit established, but if I want to pay down if I want to close them because I feel like I have too many credit cards, do I pay the cards down and not use them at all? Or do I just continue to pay on them and not use them as much? And
Good
doing
question.
one or the other.
Good question. I got your answer.
Okay.
All right. Latoya, you are never, ever, 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 ever gonna close a good credit card that has good payment history.
Okay.
Ever. Because a bank, I don't know what your goals are, but no matter what, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's investment properties, whether it's business credit at some point, whether it's doing flipping house, I don't know what it is. But a bank, when they take your file through underwriting, a bank looks at the history of your credit. That's how you're trusted. So you never have too many credit cards. You can have 50 credit cards. You never have too many credit cards. Now, the credit cards that you use every day, you should be selective of. All the rest of them, you want to keep open. You can keep them at a zero balance. You don't have to use them. You can maybe use them once a year or once every 6 months so that they don't close them for inactivity, but you do not have to actually use those cards. I'm gonna give you guys a list of cards that you need to use with rewards. If y'all ready to write. I fly for free. I get upgraded for free. I get upgraded.
Coach, I have a quick question based upon that, what you just said. So how do you get rid of, when you've had First Premier Bank cards, since that was one of your starter cards a long time ago, and they still pay you that annual fee? Yes, I still call them and ask them to waive it because I don't really use it. Sometimes they do. But most times they have. But like, how do you handle that? And plus when they charge you that $7 monthly fee anyway. So it's like, I'm paying to use this card, but it has the longest credit history I have. And so what do you advise on that?
You're gonna have to bite the bullet and keep it. Because if you get rid of it or close it, it's gonna drop your credit score, number one, and it's gonna make your history go down if it's been your longest credit card. And number three, you just, I mean, it was your starter card, and you really should have started with a card that didn't have those fees. But most people don't know any better, so you have to do what you have to do to establish credit. So you're gonna have to keep it. There's no way around it.
Thank you.
So Latoya, you never want to close your credit. You never want to close any accounts. If you have good credit, like you have, and you have a lot of credit, like Alma, I just had her get the American Express Platinum. All right, the American Express Platinum is a $550 annual fee, but I'm gonna show her next year how to get that waived, just like Will said. So it's a way that you can still get your annual fees waived. So you can't not get a rewards card because of the annual fees. Discover It is a great card. They're gonna give you cash back. They're gonna give you rewards. They're gonna allow you to transfer that. I pay my whole Discover card with my rewards points. I do my shopping for Christmas. I do it with my rewards points. I don't go in debt for Christmas, and I buy everybody stuff for Christmas. So what I do is I replace my credit card. I replace my debit card with my credit card, and I pay it off right away. Really, I don't even wait till the statement is due. So Latoya, to answer your question, I don't suggest you close any of your credit cards. I suggest that you make sure that you have rewards cards, and those are the only cards that you're going to use. You're not going to try to use any department store cards that don't have rewards or high interest rates. Do you want to tell me some of the cards you have, and I'll tell you which ones to use?
I have an Apple Platinum.
That's a good
one. Okay, Discover.
Discover It?
No, just regular Discover.
That's an old Discover. You've had that one a long time, but go ahead.
And then that's it. Just those two.
All right. So does your Discover card give you rewards?
I'm gonna tell it does. However, I haven't been utilizing it like I should with what you just said, given those examples with everyday stuff, then paying it off so that I've only gotten a little bit because I don't like using credit. My dad never allowed it. He never encouraged it. I have a good credit score. It's not 800 yet, but it's close. And I only have those two credit cards.
My grandfather told me, I'm gonna give you this example, Latoya. My grandfather told me, and my grandfather was old school, and I love him because he taught me a whole lot of things. He said, Bubba, he called me Bubba. He said, Bubba, he said, don't you ever get none of those credit cards. They the devil. He said, don't trust them banks. He said, and if you can't pay cash, he called it cash and carry. He said, if you can't pay cash for it, you don't need it.
Yes, that was my dad.
Fast forward, I moved to LA. I went to a party. I met a billionaire, and he told me, he said, Damont, if you can't pay credit for it, you don't need it. He said, you want to leverage the banks. He said, any investments you make, you never want to use your own money. You want to use the bank's money. He said, and in order for you to get the bank's money, you have to have good credit because your credit score is your report card. He said, that's how you're going to leverage and get as much as you can and lead generational wealth because you got to have the bank's money. It's a bank on every corner. Well, if I save my money, it's only so much money I can save. But that's why banks are in business because they lend money, right? So I used to think like that before I met the billionaire.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I suggest that you contact, are you sure it's not a Discover It card? Does it look like this?
Oh, snap. Maybe that is it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Discover It card.
I got the soccer ball on mine. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so that's a Discover It card. So that's a good one. That's a real good. Does anybody else have that card? I get cash back. I got a 70-inch TV from my rewards points for that. And all I do, people think, oh, that's Damont. That's because you have a lot of money. No, it's not. I don't use my debit card. I never use it. So if I'm making a purchase, I pull out my credit card, and then maybe by the end of the week, I done paid it off through my bank account. So for that, whether that transaction is $10 or whether that transaction is $200, I'm getting points back from it. Over time, over a year, that's a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your debit card, they're not going to give you anything. So the
You're
only
right.
thing is you're not getting in credit card debt. The only thing is you're replacing your debit card with your credit card. You just got to have discipline to go online, just pay it out right off. That's what I do.
Right. Okay. Makes a whole lot of sense. Okay.
But you got, Latoya, you got to get in the American Express Club.
Yes, that's going to be the next one I get. Absolutely. And then I'm done after that.
Even if you don't get the platinum, at least get the gold one.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So we established we never close good credit cards with good history. We keep our credit cards under 20%, if not zero. Our goal is to be in zero credit card debt because we shouldn't be spending anything that we don't have. And if we get a $1,000 credit card, we get a $5,000 credit card, or we get a $20,000 credit card, we should not carry credit card balance. Because if you're in my transfer group, you know that you should be building your emergency fund. So I know some people are like, I'm gonna keep this card for an emergency. No, you're supposed to have an emergency account. That's for emergencies. Credit cards are not for emergencies. Credit cards are to build relationships with banks so that later on, when you need those banks, you're able to leverage and utilize them for whatever you need. They're not for emergencies. Because what happens when you use a credit card for emergency and your car, my aunt used to say, I'm gonna keep this credit card because if my tires go out or my car needs some service, I'm gonna use the card. All right, well, you don't have the money. So what's gonna happen is over time, you're gonna pay more in interest for what you just got done to your car because it's gonna take you years to pay off that debt. So no, we gotta start saving and establishing an emergency fund for when my car breaks down, or when my tires go out, when my air conditioner, my house goes out. We gotta have emergency funds for that. Credit cards is not for that. That's the first rule. All right, I'm willing to take any other questions right now. Oh, I got to go through DeAndre. So DeAndre wants to get the American Express. All right, so what we need to be, and I don't know his situation, but any of you that want to do it, where you need to be is you need to be at least a 720. All right? And then as far as inquiries are concerned, I'm about to show you something real quick. Hold on.
Hey, Damont.
I can answer while I'm looking for it. Go ahead.
Is that 720 on FICO or 720 on any of those reporting platforms?
All right. Let's 720 on any other platform. So if I have a 720 on Credit Karma, I really have a 690 or 700 on FICO because you got to deduct about 20 or 30 points. So a lot of people think their Credit Karma report is their actual credit score, but it's not. You got to deduct the score. And I'm gonna do a training on the different types of credit scores later. But just know that there's a lot of different scores and there's really no accurate score because different people pull from different sources. So if I'm getting a house, they're going to pull from one type of credit score. If I'm getting a car, they're going to pull from another. If I'm getting a credit card, that's what I was about to show you guys, they're going to pull from another type. So you just want to make sure that all of them are kind of accurate. All right. I can take another question. I'm looking for something real quick.
I have a question. How do I get rid of my school loans?
All right, so that's a good question. So as far as blocking your school loans, if you get with a company like Mons or another company, like we could help you to block them from reporting. Blocking it from reporting means that I'm trying to think of how I could tell you this without it making sense. Blocking it from reporting means that you still owe the debt, but it doesn't show up on your credit report. So when you go to get a house or you go to get any level of credit, they factor in your debt to income. So your debt to income is factored in all the things that you owe on your credit report. So those of you that have high credit, student loan debt, you're not going to qualify for a maximum house purchase because they factor your student loan debt into your debt to income. So if you want to get that blocked, you can get it blocked by law, as far as it won't be reporting on your credit report, but you still owe the debt because it's a federal loan. Now, outside of that, I can't tell you how to get out of student loan debt, but I do know that, because I don't know your financial situation, but I do know that a lot of people in my credit club, they qualify for income-based driven program, which means that they pay less per month over a certain period of time, and then their credit card, their student loan debt is released. All right, so that's and then they also have the loan forgiveness program. So they have an income-driven program. They have the loan. They have a lot of different programs, and because of COVID, there's a lot more programs. But that all is contingent upon how much you make and how much you produce. If you're not making that much income, then you will qualify for an income-driven program, and you will pay a low amount for a period of time, whatever the terms are, and then after that, they would remove your student loan debt. So that's kind of like, because I don't want to ask your personal business, and that's not really my expertise. My expertise is in getting it removed from your credit report so that you're able to get other things. And then also some of you forget about your student loans. So after you get out of school, you forget about them. So then they go into collections, then you have late payments, and then they mess up your credit. So if that's the case, you're able to get those blocked and removed as well. Now, do you still owe them? Yes. So I tell people, I told you guys, you don't owe Sprint or any of the collections, you can get out of that. You ain't never seen nobody go to jail for owing a light bill or owing a medical bill. But student loans and the IRS are two people, the Department of Education and the IRS are two people that you need to communicate with. And if you communicate with them, they will make arrangements with you, and you don't have to worry about them putting liens on your house or levying your bank accounts or harassing your family or, all that type of thing. So the government, you just got to communicate with them. Anybody else you can get out of. All right, I'm going to take another question.
Damont,
I got a quick question.
I'm coming back to the American Express thing. I'm just looking for something, but go ahead.
I know you probably covered this already, but when it comes to paying your credit card, I understand the deadline or whatever, due date, whatever, but I've heard many different rumors about it being specific time pockets to pay your credit. But
yeah,
I'm more so like kind of like if I buy something, I want to just pay it off right then and there. But then I was told I wasn't necessarily supposed to do that. So I hear different rumors about that.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
Niggas. Let me just say that, niggas.
They said, when we say they said, we never know who they is. I don't think that I honestly am not going to advise you to wait till your billing cycle date. Because if you having a zero balance is better than carrying a balance. You're building a relationship with the bank. So for instance, if you have $1,000 credit limit and you say you go buy some shoes for $150, all right, you're still below your 20% ratio, but you want to pay it off. You just bought it so you can get the rewards points. So you bought it just because you didn't want to use your debit card. You knew you want to go keep it and pay interest. I would pay it off immediately. And even if I don't pay it off immediately, because maybe I don't have the money until I get paid or something like that, I would pay it off before my statement ending date. All right. Okay. And many people don't know their statement ending date. They just know the due date. So if my statement, so for instance, my American Express, my statement ending date is on the 15th. My due date is on the 28th. So I pay my bill on the 14th, because if I wait till the 28th, they're going to report whatever my balance is to the credit bureau, which is going to make my score go down because now my balance is going to exceed the 30% or 20% ratio. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, totally. I got it.
So it's a numbers game, but we don't normally pay attention to our statement any date. When we get a bill, we just look at the due date. But by the due date, they've already stopped the account, evaluated it, and sent the information over to the credit bureau. So that's why some of you, I know even in my credit club, some of you be like, well, I paid it on the due date. I paid the bill down. Why hasn't it reported? And then you keep using it. So when you keep using it and that's the date they're gonna report is the date, whatever the amount, that's the amount they're gonna report is whatever the amount is that's on your invoice, your account during the statement ending date.
Right.
If there's anybody that don't understand that, let me know and I'll go through it again.
I'm clear. I appreciate it. Though,
Damont, I got a quick question. Does it matter how many transactions you do per month with a credit card, or is it just important to use the credit card every month to build your credit?
Well, it depends on the credit card, first of all. So if it's a credit card that has rewards, then you want to do as many transactions as you possibly can. If it's a credit card that's like Will said, like a First Premier card that doesn't have any rewards, you just want to make sure that you keep that card active and you don't want to use it much at all. So it depends. If you tell me the type of card, I'll tell you if that's a card that you need to use multiple times versus a card that you just need to keep active. Now, keeping the card active means that if you don't use it for several months, the company is going to classify as inactivity and they're going to automatically close the account and then you're going to lose all that history. So you want to use it every so often if it's one of those starter cards.
It's a starter card, the Capital One Platinum.
Yeah, Capital One Platinum is no good. So it's a good starter card. It's a good starter card, but after 6 months, you should have another tier card.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
When you're applying for the credit cards, is it a hard inquiry or a soft inquiry on your credit?
It's a hard inquiry. And if you're trying to rebuild or establish, you just gonna have to bite the bullet and you have to have an inquiry to get a credit card.
And so you have to apply on the website to get the credit cards?
Yes. Or you could call them. You could call them and do it over the phone.
Okay.
Best Buy, I'm giving y'all a list of rewards cards. Best Buy has a great rewards card through Citibank. All right. Discover It, great card. American Express Everyday Card is a good card. If you have excellent credit, I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest getting the gold card. Do you guys know the difference between I gotta go in a minute, but do y'all know the difference between a credit card and a charge card?
You gotta pay the charge off in full.
Yes. So the card I just told Latoya to get is a charge card. The cards that she already has are credit cards. So she says she already has the Apple card, which is a great card, which is a charge card, a credit card, and she has the Discover It card, which is a credit card. I told her to go get the American Express, which American Express offers the charge card. So the charge card, she has to pay off in full at the end of every month. You don't have any interest. You have an annual fee, and you have rewards, whether it's travel rewards or restaurant rewards or different types of rewards. One day I'm gonna teach you guys how to do status matching. Status matching is how I'm able to fly first class. Is because, or when I go to Vegas, how I'm able to get upgraded at MGM properties, or when I go to Hertz, how I'm able to be in the presidential circle, or how when I go to the Marriott, I'm able to get upgraded to one of their presidential suites. Is that status matching? So status matching means when I have one status with one credit card, I can match that same status with another vendor or credit company. So my status with American Express allows me to be in gold status with Hertz. My status with American Express allows me to be in premier status with MGM Properties. So when I go to MGM Properties in Vegas, I don't have to pay resort fees. So it's that I understand all this is. I'm explaining to you guys, for some of you that are not there, the levels to credit. There's levels to it, and it's not just the American Express. I mean the Capital One Platinum. Yes, that's a good starter card, but 6 months we should be on another tier. So it's tiers of credit. That's a starter card, it's an intermediate card, and then there's rewards cards, and then there's top tier cards, the charge cards, which I just told Latoya she needs. Now,
and coach, for some of those people who are looking for a starter card that has no annual fee, Capital One has a Capital One Journey card, which is designed for students. They start you with probably like a $500 or $750, but as you have those good behaviors, they're upgraded. Plus, you get 1% cash back and rewards. So that's something that I probably would suggest for your people who are teaching your children to start off with, because that's what I started my younger sisters with, and so they were able to build credit early and got approved for that card, and not have to have an annual fee, like where I made a mistake and had First Premier, and I'm stuck with it. You know, so that's a little advice.
That's the Journey card is a good one. Discover has a student card too. I just got my son. They approved him with no credit for $1,000 limit. So, and I told him, those of you that have kids that are going to college, I told my son, because Latoya was saying what her dad had taught her, and a lot of our parents taught us when you go to college, don't you get them credit cards when they send you all them credit card offers. I told my son, I said, you tell me every time they send you an offer, I want you to get every credit card they send to you. But I started him with the Discover student card. So he called me one day. He was like, Pops, they said if I have good grades, they'll give me $20 for every good grade I have on my statement. And then he called another day. He was like, Pops, they said they'll reward me. They'll give me a Discover or give me a grant if I pay my bill on time for 12 months. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's the benefits of credit. So when I just went to his school, he goes to Grambling. When I just went to his school last week, he said, Pops, a lot of these girls, they just be bragging on their credit score. I said, did you brag on yours too? He was like, yeah. I was like, that's something that you should be proud about that you do. He has a 720 credit score. He's only 18 years old. I got him. I just started his credit like in the last 6 months. So at the end of the day, that you get rewards, and that's also a good secure card is Discover, because Discover secure card, they give you rewards back. So if you give them $500, they're gonna give you the Discover It card I just showed you, and they'll give you cash back. So you don't have all those fees like Will is talking about. Anybody else have a question?
I have a question.
I got a question. Go ahead, Martina.
Okay, so my question, I don't know. I don't think I'm quite ready for the Amex step, but I did want to inquire about getting a credit card through Navy Fed. I do have at least like 7 inquiries, and I have 3 late payments from like last year. But I did obtain 2 trade lines that will be reporting next month on the 13th. Am I ready to even try to do it?
Can you rewind? Take me back to the late payments.
Okay, those are from last year. It's like 3 late payments I have from last year.
I wouldn't apply for anything, and I wouldn't have bought those trade lines.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
All right. So a late payment hurts your credit for 2 years. So
okay.
So we really need to get the late payment off.
Okay.
All right. If that's possible, if it's like a mortgage or something that you really have a long time history with, then it really just I would have to look at it and see. But if it's I would not get anything if I had a late payment on my credit. I would wait a whole year before applying for something. The first thing. The second thing is you do not want to apply for anything with Navy Federal.
It was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018.
Oh, well then you might be okay. All right, you said last year.
Well, yeah, I wasn't even thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
But
around two-
I would not apply for anything with Navy Federal until I was in the mid 7s.
Right. Like right now, I'm at the like 710, like 720 mark with some
But
of
what are you
them.
looking at? What do you tell
The
me?
trade line, I was thinking the trade line will give me the boost I needed to
It
be able
may,
to
it
apply.
may, it may, it may. If it takes you up to 740 or 730, then go ahead.
740 or 730.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Demont, I have a question. This is Lauren. How much are your trade lines?
They start at 100 and go all the way up to 1,000. But I don't let people buy trade lines if they don't qualify for getting funding. So it's no need to even get trade lines. People think trade lines is gonna be the solution to it. Trade lines is just a cherry on top. You still got to have the foundation still has to be strong. So if a person has collections, if a person has a bankruptcy still on their credit, if a person has late payments, recent late payments within the last year or two, if a person has a lot of inquiries, I do not suggest that they go and pay for anything until those things are removed. It's a waste of money.
Now, what do you suggest about Lexington Law? Because I'm going through them and they're supposed to be helping, but
That's
I
my
haven't
competitor. That's my competitor. So Lauren, in the last 10 years, Darnell, I knew he was gonna say something. In the last 10 years, I've done probably about 15,000 people's credit. So Lexington Law, we've gotten a large amount of their people. Darnell is a coach, and we hear about stories about Lexington Law. So let me just explain to you the difference. So Lexington Law is built upon subscription. So they're gonna pay you whatever you're paying monthly, was 100, 200, whatever you're paying monthly. They don't want you to win. They want you to keep paying their monthly fee, because the longer you pay their monthly fee, the longer they're gonna make more money. They don't want you to not pay them, right? That's just like Netflix. If Netflix said, "Hey, we're not giving any more content. You just got to use the content that you have now. Then that's on there now. Then we will all cancel our subscriptions, right?" So yeah. So again, they don't want you to be able to survive without them. So they might have 1 or 2 things come off your credit, but I've seen people that's been with them for 2 years and they still in the same place. So I suggest you come on over to the winning team and reach out to one of my coaches on here and have them sign you up, Lauren, because if you're trying to get,
message me, put it in the chat.
All right, one of the coaches put your information in the chat, please.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had Lexington, and I stayed at a 608 forever. I dumped them and just did it myself, and I'm at a 712 without them. And
A lot of people
crazy.
Anton, don't have the patience to send them letters off and stay on it consistent, but at least you did have sense enough to get away from Lexington Law.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I tell people, if you're not gonna do it yourself, which that takes a lot of, you got to study, you got to be able to send those letters consistently, then find somebody to help you. Don't stay in the same position. Who else said something?
This is Alma. How are you, Damont?
Hey, baby.
I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
The first question is, what did you say the good starter cards were?
Capital One Platinum, Discover It. Navy Federal has a secure card.
Okay.
Huntington Bank has a secure card.
Okay.
Fifth Third has a secure card.
Okay. And the second question is, how do you get a bankruptcy off of your credit report?
You got to contact one of my credit coaches.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only way to do that is you got to challenge. I told you guys, there's a law that protects you. It's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So if somebody is not reporting something accurately, which 99.9% of credit reports have inaccurate information, it can be something that you don't even realize is inaccurate on your credit report, because when you look at your credit report, you're looking at the exterior of the information. Your credit report is really a bunch of numbers and codes behind the surface. All right. So there are a lot of things that are on your credit report. I want to go through a few things that you can do yourself. I think I told Alma this. You should only have one name on your credit report. You shouldn't have 5 different names, variations of names. Alma this, Alma that, Alma spelled this way, Alma spelled that way, Alma spelled, Alma with a middle initial, Alma with this last name, Alma with her maiden last name. You should only have one name. So Damont, how do I fix it? You call the credit bureaus, you tell them there's inaccurate information reporting to your credit report, and tell them to remove it. You should only have one address on your credit report. You should not have especially for those of you that have collections. Anton, when you start fixing your credit, when you try to fix your credit, whether it's with a company, whether it's through Lexington Law, whether it's through my company, whether it's through yourself, all those addresses are connected to collections and old accounts. So you want to get all those addresses removed from your report. That's if you have collections. If you're somebody like Alma that has good credit, you don't want all those variations of addresses on there, because when you go to try to get business funding, or when you go to try to get a house or get approved for a line of credit, they're gonna be like, dang, Alma, she's not stable. She moves around a lot. They're gonna look at all them, and it could be the addresses for the last 10 years. You be like, I know some of you, y'all feel like, oh, well, it's so the people don't steal my identity. No, people steal your identity without any of that information. It shows that you're not stable. So in order to get that off, you got to call the credit bureaus and tell them to remove it from your credit, unless somebody's working on your credit. Like with us, that's how we start. We start with getting all that removed off of your credit. Phone numbers. You don't need a phone number on your credit report. Remove them. All right, next question. What was that it, Alma? Okay.
Yes, that was
how
it.
you like
Thank
your
you.
American Express Platinum?
I love it. I use it every day.
Hey, when you whip it out, when you whip it out and put it down, they start saying yes. They start saying yes, ma'am, no, sir, yes, sir. How can I help you, sir?
They respect that part. They do.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Cameron.
You said something about Best Buy. You said that was a good credit card, right?
Yeah.
So I have a Best Buy credit card, and I also have a Capital One Platinum credit card. And it's crazy because I was actually just looking into getting a new credit card today when I was over at my mom's house earlier, and I was just trying to figure out what was the good one you said to get.
Can I tell y'all another thing? The best card to me is the Chase Freedom card. All right. But I'm gonna tell some of you don't qualify for the Chase Freedom card. So I'm gonna tell you why you wouldn't qualify for the Chase Freedom card. So Chase has, write this down, teach your kids. Chase has a rule called the 5 and 24 rule. So that means, now Cameron, you probably would apply, you look young, so you don't have 5 credit cards. So if you have 5 new credit cards in the last 24 months, Chase is gonna automatically deny you. So when you're building your credit portfolio, Chase should be one of the 2nd or 3rd cards that you get. Okay, because they're going to give you higher limits. They're going to give you rewards. That the Chase Slate card, the Chase Freedom card, and the Chase Sapphire card. There's 3 different levels. You can start with the Chase Slate card, then go to the Chase Freedom card. The Chase Sapphire card is equivalent to like the American Express. There's a $500 a year annual fee on it. So Cameron, with you, I would get. How many years have you had your cards? Over 2 years? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Over 2 years?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have my Capital One credit card over 2 years and my Best Buy one over 2 years.
I will get the Chase Freedom card.
Okay. All right. What about?
I would actually get 2 cards. I would get the Chase Freedom card. I would get the Discover It card.
All right. Yeah, that's the one I was going to ask you about. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Appreciate it.
Oh, no
I
problem.
have a question, Damont.
Go ahead.
This is Eve. A lot of well, from what I've heard, business credit and personal credit is different. So at what point would you suggest is a good time to start trying to establish business credit? Where does your personal credit need to be in order to do so?
I don't, your personal, it doesn't matter how your personal credit is to start establishing business credit. That's why I said the business credit class is going to take a little longer, but you should start establishing business credit as of today, right now. So how many business owners do I have in here?
Me.
All right.
Me.
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 I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I want to give you something, and then the next time we talk, then you should be more established than you are now. So let's do. I gotta find it. Oh, somebody asked me another question.
Hey, Damont, I got a question. This is Jason. With respect to COVID and the credit card companies, do they adjust their rate of qualification based upon the pandemic and people scrambling to get credit, or is it still standardized?
Well, you gotta realize that banks are in business. They want you to get credit. They want you to get in credit card debt. So they're extending. I'm seeing people get $30,000-$40,000 limits. So I don't think it's changed at all, honestly. I think this is a time when they want to give you credit because they know you're gonna rely on that credit.
I have a question.
Can I give y'all this real quick? And I'm gonna take your question. But there is nobody that should have a business. There's nobody that should have a business and not have, what is that? Nobody that should have a business. Take a screenshot of the screen. I want you to take this. This is my cheat sheet, and this is something that people. This is something that companies. This is something. You can't see it.
She put her hands on this guy.
What is going on? Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right.
You okay?
Seriously. All right. So, in establishing, to answer her question, you do not need good personal credit to start establishing business credit. Now, later on, when you start getting into revolving credit and all of that, then yes. But you can, once you establish your business credit, your business, you're going to set your EIN up, you're going to set your address up. You're going to set your address up. After you set your business up, you're going to get you do not use a business address, a home address or PO box. You follow this step by step. You get your EIN number, you get your 800 number, you get all those things so that you can establish yourself as a business. There should be no business owner that use a Gmail or a Yahoo email address. It should be at whatever your website is.
Mm.
All right?
I had a question real quick, Damont.
Let me finish this. So when you start establishing, after you do, to answer her question, once you start establishing, you're going to start establishing 30-day net accounts and 60-day net accounts through Uline and Quill and Granger and Behalf and Monopolize and Strategic Network. And they don't pull your credit. So you're establishing credit with them, business credit. So over time, when it comes time, you're fixing your personal credit in the meanwhile, but over time, now you're able to apply for cards like the Chase Ink card, which is a business card, or the Chase, the American Express Platinum card, which is a business card. All right. So you also, as a business, want to make sure that you monitor your credit. So you should always know, I've asked in the group multiple times, what your paydex score is. Nobody seems to know what their paydex score is. This is how you find out what your paydex score is and what your business credit score is. It's through Duns and Bradstreet. There should be nobody in business. There should be nobody in business that says that you have a business and you don't know what Duns and Bradstreet is. Go ahead. Go ahead, Michael. I got to go into the transfer in a few minutes, y'all.
Okay. On the as far as the business credit, Should I
Y'all just
not
gonna
ever
push me to
personally
talk about
guarantee?
business credit. Go ahead.
I know I'm skipping ahead, but I should never personally guarantee anything when I'm trying to do a business to business deal, right?
If you don't have established credit, yes, you might have to get that deal done.
Yeah, because that's the issue I've been having a little bit because I don't have the business credit established.
Right. So they're gonna ask you for a PG, yes.
And it's okay to go ahead and do that.
Initially, yes.
Okay. But I should get to the point to where I shouldn't have to do that.
If you took a screenshot of what I just sent you, that's gonna help you to start the process. Yes.
Yep, I did all that. I got all that. I got all that DB number.
You have a DUNS number?
Yep, I got all that.
All right. So yes, I do think that if you believe in your business, you should be a PG initially, but over time, you should be able to remove yourself as a PG once you establish your business credit.
Okay.
I feel like every business owner that has a business, their car should be in their business name so that it can become a tax write-off. The only way you can get a car in your business name is to establish business credit.
Do all of this apply also for a 501c3 non-for-profit organization?
What's your question?
Does this same advice apply for a non-for-profit
Yes,
organization?
non-for-profit. I have one. Non-for-profits have business credit, yes.
And the same steps?
The only thing is you're tax exempt, but it's still an entity, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, I know it's levels to the tiers and the trade lines with the business credit and stuff. I've already went through Uline and Granger. Do I have to really go to the next level, or can I skip up and try to go for bigger stuff so I can establish some credit?
No, that you are establishing credit if you're with Uline and Granger, but you got to pull your business credit report to make sure that they're reporting. And you don't, and if you just have those two, you need at least seven. Wow. That's called trade credit. Those are net 30 and net 60 accounts. You need at least 7 of those reporting.
So
the next tier will be your gas cards like Shell or Citgo or Staples or Office Depot. So then you're going to apply for those, and then the next tier is revolving credit.
Okay, got it. See, I got a company that's they're directing me to the tiers. But if I can deal with you and you can take me, because I learned some of them, like those first couple ones, I learned that off of one of your
blueprint
things you did. Yeah, your blueprint thing you did one day. But I have a company that they send me to them, and they monitor if I open up accounts with them and how I'm doing on it, and then they try to take me to the next level.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just deal with you on that level. Then on the business, how do we do that on the business level?
This is Stacy. I got them. I'll go ahead and get them to the CEO program. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Go, Damont.
And for the record, for those of you, because I know I always get these people that think that I'm on some kind of commercial, like I'm trying to do a commercial. No, I'm not. This is how I started out. I started doing these classes on Facebook Live. That's how I met a lot of these people. And I just started educating them and just telling them about credit cards and business credit and all that. And my business started thriving. But even if you don't go through my business, my company, my coaching program, find someone to help you. Don't stay with bad credit. That's all I always tell people. Just find someone. We need coaches in areas that we're weak at. I might look small, but if I keep eating these Oreos and if I don't work out, I'm gonna be big. So I got to get me a fitness coach. I have to get there. You have to find coaches that have strengths in the areas that you don't have. Next question. Can I answer DeAndre's question real quick, because I don't want to overlook it. He said he had asked me how to get American Express. I want to make sure that we're clear. So we got to have a minimum amount of increase in the recent year. So it shouldn't be a whole lot of increase. And I would say less than 5 or 7. And then, or they're going to say that you've been applying for too much credit recently. So you'll get a rejection. You don't want to have any, for the American Express Platinum, you don't want to have any collections. You don't want to have any late pays in the last period. And then you want to have at least 2 years of good payment history. All right. If you don't have it, just say you're getting established, then that's when you're going to add trade lines. So I'm going to start with my starter card. I'm going to get my intermediate card in 6 months, and then I'm going to add trade lines, and then I can apply for the American Express Platinum card. All right. Everybody in here should be a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. If you don't know somebody, you got to find somebody and ask them to sponsor you. All you need is their access number. Navy Federal Credit Union is going to give you the highest limits for credit cards. They're going to give you the best interest rates on your home loan, and they're going to give you the best interest rates on your car loan. When you go to apply for a car, you should not go to the car dealership unless you're getting a lease. You should not go to the car dealership having them shop for your loan. You should already have your loan when you go to the car dealership. That's why many of you are failing with you driving nice cars, but they just look nice. They're not helping you because they're putting you more in debt because you got high interest rate. They bring you through multiple banks, so now you can't even go get no more credit. And it's going to take you 20 years to pay the car off because you had a higher, you should not be over a 4% or 5% interest rate on your auto loan. Next question.
Real quick, what are trade lines? This is the first time I'm ever hearing about trade lines. What are trade lines?
So Christopher, every account on your credit report is a trade line. So if it's a Capital One card that we've just been talking about, that's a trade line. If you have a home loan, that's a trade line. If you have a student loan, that's a trade line. If you have an automobile loan, that's a trade line. All of those are trade lines. Anything that reports to your credit report is a trade line. So there are ways that people can add you on to their trade lines, and those will report on your credit report. The benefit is that now you gain their history. So if I have a Discover It card and I add you, Christopher, and I've had this card for 10 years, now it's going to give you 10 years good history, which is going to boost your score.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
And just to refresh real quick before you log out, you said so. Are
you coming over with me?
Huh?
Are you coming over with me?
Going where?
I'm talking about to the.
Oh
train.
yeah, I am. Anyway, so yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'll just mess with you.
No, real quick, just to refresh. So I ended up getting 2 late payments earlier this year, and it kind of fucked me up. But so you said I shouldn't apply for anything at least for a year or two. Just I want to get that right before I, you know what I mean?
I suggest you have the entire account removed from your credit report.
Okay.
It's 2 options. First, write them a letter. And tell them that you were affected by COVID or that you had some type of financial issue, and see if they will reverse the late charge. 9 times out of 10 they won't, but sometimes they will, depend on the bank. Secondly, you have to get with the company and get the entire account removed from your credit report, because I would not wait 2 years to move forward.
Yeah, no, I can't. Okay. All
and
right.
and because if we challenge it, because we don't dispute, we challenge. So we challenge the law, using the law. So if we challenge it, 9 times out of 10, they're going to remove the entire account. They're not going to just remove the late payments.
Okay.
So I would start over.
Hey, Damont, I got one quick question.
Here for somebody here?
What'd you say?
So could I go to somebody on the team in here?
Yeah, somebody in the chat. I don't know who's all in there, but it looks like they're talking in there. So it's a lot. I ain't gonna name. It's a lot of different people in there. If not,
I know how to get at them. Good looking though. I'm gonna get at them.
Okay, somebody on the team. If I call a name, they'll say I have a favorite one. You know how.
No, I get it.
Thank
you,
I
I appreciate it.
Is it possible for someone to post the information? Because some of us want to get started, but we don't know who to contact. So somebody in the chat put who to contact.
Is somebody in the chat? I mean, some of my credit club members, my credit club team should be in the chat. Can y'all speak up, please? Hello.
Oh, don't even trip.
All right, Darnell's in there. Anybody else?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dwayne.
Dwayne's in there.
In the chat.
Anyone else?
Ashley.
Ashley's in there.
Club member.
Michael Jordan
You
Johnson.
said Credit Club member? Yeah.
No, I'm looking for my coaches. I have coaches on here.
Oh yeah, what's up on? I want to be a coach, Damont, man. How can I? Because I went through the personal credit through you, and I'm almost done. But I done moved on to the business credit now. But how can I get to be a coach?
If you reach out, I think that Stacy says she's got you, but if you reach out to any of the existing coaches, that can bring you in.
Okay.
I got him, Damont.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Damont, I know you got to get to the transfer, man, but I need 2 minutes after this Zoom video, man. I got a real unique situation. I need you to understand it. That's all.
Okay. You have my
And
phone number?
Demont,
Do you have my
will
phone
you
number,
guys,
DeAndre?
Yeah, I got your phone number.
All right.
and Demont, will you guys be before the transfer begins? Will you guys allow invites? Because I noticed the invite icon was missing over the past couple of hours.
Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had about 5 people that was trying to get on, but the icon was gone. So just wanted to know before we get started.
Thank you, Jason. You be on it, man. I didn't realize that I had turned that off. I'm sorry.
Another thing too, Damont, you know the video from the recap from yesterday is gone too.
It's working now. So I put it had music because remember we started out with Shadow Red, so they restricted the video because of the music. So I reposted it. And I'll do it again later on tonight if you didn't get a chance to see it, or you can scroll up in the group.
Thanks, Jason, for that as well.
9 minutes, big dog.
Hey, Damont.
The transfer's in 9 minutes.
Yep.
All right. Last question. Last question.
Hey,
I'm on
Damont.
my way to calling.
Yo.
I got a question.
It's for the 2,500 where we have to get the application to be
Hey, this is a credit masterclass. If y'all
I know.
presidential, I will talk about that on Wednesday. This is a credit masterclass. Let's just talk about that. Yeah. But I don't want to negate your question. All you gotta do is contact Carlton. Carlton will get you the application, and then you'll go through the selection process. But for this class, I wanted to just take questions for credit. I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to push y'all on the transfer. All right. All right. Last question. We good? Did everybody get something out of this? Would you like me to continue to do it or no?
Yeah, keep going.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. I do have one question, Damont.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Damont,
Go ahead.
one question. Okay.
Gracias.
My issue for my credit is more so my debt to ratio. I'm one of those person who spent way over what I should. So would you advise me to get somebody contacted me today about a loan to cover like a consolidated loan, or would you just pay it off yourself?
I support. I don't support credit consolidations, but I support loans to pay off your credit. Yes. If you join my club, I can walk you through how to do that and then how to get out of that debt. So because of COVID, if you take out that loan, there's a way that you can get that loan relieved. So just say that if I take out a loan to pay all my credit card debt, I can because of COVID restrictions now, I can get out of that loan after 6 months.
Gotcha.
So you might need to set up. If you want to set
I wrote
up
down Dwayne number.
Yeah. All right. Contact Dwayne. Yep.
Okay.
All right, y'all. I got to go. Transfer room. See y'all later.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey,
No problem.
Thanks, Coach.
Oh, no problem.